Some actors bust onto the screen and steal our hearts. And as quick as they do that, Hollywood's like, nope, to the attic, just like your old Tickle Me Elmo doll. Today we are talking about 3 iconic stars that we loved until we didn't. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back today. Thank you so much for taking time today to just click on today's video. Today I have 3 icons that made the 90s freaking awesome. First up on the list, 1999 American Pie. This movie basically defined a generation. It basically skyrocketed the career of a lot of teen actors. Now, before we jump right into it, you know, here on the channel, I do like to mention fun facts. And one of the fun facts that I learned when I was doing research for this video is the MPAA originally had this movie as an NC-17. Like, they were like, nope, we're not giving the rated R. The producers and the MPAA went back and forth. And the one holdup that was holding them up was whenever Jim was having the relationship with the pie, that he did 4 thrusts. 4 thrusts was apparently too many. Alright, thank you guys for all coming in today. We are here to discuss the rating of NC-17 for the movie, I have it right here, American Pie. Alright, we're fine with everything else inside the movie. Obviously, like, you know, a middle-aged woman having sexual relations with a high school student, we're cool with. But the scene that's holding us up is, let's see here, it says, Jim, main character, has sexual relations with an apple pie. And what really did it for us in this scene is he performs 4 thrusts into the apple pie. We just cannot have that in a rated R movie. NC-17 all day long. Discussion over. Okay, Bob, I hear you out. I hear you loud and clear. Everything else in the movie is cool. I understand that. But hear me out. What if Jim only thrust 2 times? Okay, 2 thrusts, that's it. You give us the rated R rating. What do you say? Only 2 thrusts. Alright. I think you may be onto something. But of course, I'm talking about America's Sweetheart. At the time, I am talking about Tara Reid playing Vicky in American Pie. Now, in the late 90s, early 2000s, she was the it girl. Girls wanted to be her, guys wanted to be with her. She played in so many iconic movies in the early 2000s. Of course, American Pie, Van Wilder. On her IMDb page, I didn't know this, she has over 77 movies to her credit. But here's the thing. In the early 2000s, fame also brought all-night partying for Tara. Tara would basically go from red carpet to nightclub red carpet, most time wearing the same dress. Basically, if there's an event with flashing lights and cameras and free alcohol, Tara was there. And of course, with all the partying and being out, of course, came the paparazzi and the tabloids snapping pictures of you at your most inconvenient moment, and they really did a number on Tara Reid. And to be honest, I hate paparazzi and tabloids for that reason. Could you imagine being a celebrity, you're in your house, and you're like, oh, I need to go check the mail, or I forgot something in my car. So you throw on your somewhat clean Nickelback concert tour shirt, a somewhat clean pair of jogging pants, and some flip-flops, and you run outside real fast, and you're met by like 20 flashing cameras, and the headline reads, like, B for Brandon has given up. That would suck. So, of course, with all this exposure, she becomes very self-conscious of her appearance and decides to get plastic surgery. But like most plastic surgeries, it went bad. It went horribly wrong. And of course, this led to several other surgeries to try to fix those problems. So the bad plastic surgery jobs, the drinking problem, this just sent Tara in a downward spiral super fast. Now, Tara being 49, she looks like a completely different person than she did back then. And I know we all change appearance, but her botched plastic surgery, you can't even tell it's her anymore. Now, Tara does make a few appearances on talk shows, on podcasts, stuff like that. But every movie that's come out has been pretty much straight to streaming. Now, Tara did find some dumb luck in a movie that's so bad, it's good. And plus, we need to make like 15 sequels of it. And that is Sharknado. So a twister with a shark Tara Reid. Now, that being said, all this being said, Tara may not be in this summer's big blockbuster movie, but Tara will always be that unforgettable girl next door type, but also the girl that can outrun a CGI shark. The next guy I'm talking about, you could not look at a teen magazine without seeing his face. He was on every Teen Bop magazine all the way down the aisle. Little 8-year-old B for Brandon, he wanted this haircut so bad. He wanted to be like this guy. He wanted to wear flannel shirts unbuttoned, and he wanted to drive a dirt bike. And just so you know, I'm like the most uncoordinated person possible, that I probably would have definitely broken a few limbs if I had a dirt bike. I'm talking about Edward Furlong, Terminator 2, Rise to Fame. Man, this guy, he hit hard. Now, James Cameron, for Terminator 2, could have cast any actor he wanted. But instead, he chose Edward Furlong, a 13-year-old boy with zero experience. He was literally discovered at a Pasadena Boys and Girls Club. And in my opinion, Edward Furlong, he doesn't just play John Connor, he is John Connor to me. He had the messy hair, the flannel shirt, the dirt bike. He was basically like a 90's teen starter pack. Now, of course, after T2, he went to star in a few movies, Pet Sematary 2, American History X. He was kind of like that edgy 90's heartthrob, kind of like the alter ego to Leonardo DiCaprio. And honestly, for a while, it looked like nothing could stop Edward Furlong from just being a mega star. And as fast as he rose to fame, basically fame just slammed on the brakes. He found himself in a little bit of legal troubles, and mixed with the substance abuse, it was not good. I mean, he basically went from billion-dollar blockbusters to movies with a budget smaller than the catering bill for Terminator 2. Sadly. Now, he did play in a movie called The Crow, Wicked Prayer, which, oddly enough, co-starred Tara Reid. So basically, this movie was a Hollywood's Fall from Grace Club. These days, he's cleaned up his act. He has started going to conventions and kind of reconnecting with the generation that watched him growing up. Edward Furlong went from starring in movies of saving the future to basically movies that didn't have a future, but to me, he will always be John Connor. Now last, but certainly not least, and I think this guy had the biggest fall from fame of this list. And hopefully you will agree with me. I am talking about the Weasel, Pauly Shore. Man, this guy was plastered everywhere on MTV. He was like the poster child for MTV in the 90's. If you don't know about Pauly Shore in the 90's, basically imagine you had a squirrel, and you gave that squirrel like 5 Red Bulls, and you just filmed him for 10 years. That's Pauly Shore's career. Back in the early 90's, whenever MTV was still playing music, they decided, hey, we got this kid, Pauly Shore, what should we do with him? Let's follow him around with a camera and give him a microphone. And then that produced Totally Pauly, which was a TV show of Pauly Shore just going around on the streets, just doing dumb stuff, but it extremely worked well. And by this time, Hollywood had taken notice, and in 1992, they cast Pauly in a movie with Brendan Fraser and Sean Astin called Encino Man. And as dumb as this movie is, I absolutely love this movie for all the nostalgia that's in this movie. I loved it. But then Hollywood was like, you know, what else could we do with Pauly Shore? Let's make him a farmer. Let's make him join the army. Let's lock him inside an environmental, basically, biodome. And oddly enough, it all worked. You know, Pauly Shore is a very likable guy on the screen. He has these mannerisms that you just can't help but like him. And this is completely my opinion, off subject, completely my opinion of when Pauly Shore started to do his downcline. And I think it is when he cut off all of his hair for In the Army Now. Just my opinion. Because he did play this weird, quirky character. The hair worked. He had the hair going for him. But once he shaved his head, he kind of lost that weird, wacky kind of guy feel. And he was just a weird guy in the movie after that. Again, like I said, just my opinion. Drop me a comment down below. What do you think was the downfall of Pauly Shore? I'd love to hear from you guys and kind of talk about it back and forth. But with these movies like Biodome, with Jury Duty, of course, they started drawing less and less money at the box office. And after a while, the calls just stopped coming in. And by the late 90s, the calls had stopped for Pauly Shore, but he was still making appearances as himself in certain movies, which tells me they knew they had something with Pauly Shore, but they didn't know what to do with him. He went on to make like a mockumentary of Pauly Shore is Dead, but sadly, it didn't resurrect his career. He mostly makes appearances now on some podcasts. He does make some special appearances here and there. Now, Pauly Shore may be not on the big screen anymore, but he will still always be remembered as the Weasel and the loudest voice of the 90s, and sadly, the biggest fall from grace, in my opinion. Of course, I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the top 3 that I picked? Which one do you think has the biggest fall from grace out of those 3 that I picked? Of course, I'm going to make some more videos on this subject, so I would love to hear from you guys. But guys, that's all I have for you guys today. If you wouldn't mind, if you did enjoy today's video and you did like it, best way to help support me and help support the channel is hitting that thumbs up button down below. If you're not a subscriber, you can quickly become one. It's easy. It's free. And outside that, turn on that little bell notification and select all. And YouTube will send you a nice little notification whenever I upload a new video. But now that we're in the video, I do want to address one thing real fast. I am very sorry about the last video about this flickering light over here. Whenever I was editing that was not in the video whatsoever. I think I edit all my videos through CapCut, and there was a feature on there. It's new. I've never done it before, and it says enhance your video with AI, kind of to make it a smoother transition. And I think that's what caused that light to flicker. So guess who would not be using the AI feature in his videos anymore? This guy. So, but guys, I appreciate you. Sorry about the last video. Mom, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys. Hey, if you want to watch another video, click here. If you want to subscribe, click over here. As always, thanks for watching, guys.